All right, guys, let's take a look at week 23 in the NBA for help with your daily changes leagues, your weekly changes leagues, playoffs, streaming, all that sort of stuff. We're going to be covering that right now in today's show or in today's segment. First of all, let's look at the teams and who has the best schedule for the week and who has the worst schedule for the week. The Golden State Warriors pretty clearly have the best schedule by the fact that they play 5 games. But there is zero chance that Steph, KD, Clay, Boogie, Draymond play all 5 of those games. You would have to think that 4 games for those guys is most likely. Maybe Cousins plays 3. And then you've got Andre Iguodala and Sean Livingston, who I think Livingston will probably play 3 of those. There are 2 back-to-back sets in that time. And Iguodala he's on the borderline to me. He's probably closer to 3 games than 4 games. So if you're looking to add these guys for those potential options off the wire, like an Iguodala for a weekly lock, I don't think you're going to get those 4 or 5 games necessarily out of him. And you're going to have guys coming up and down. Now, that's going to open up some streaming value for guys like Jordy Bell on the days that Draymond and Cousins sits. Guys like Quinn Cook for the days that Steph sits. Someone like Damian Lee, perhaps, on the days that Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson sit. There's going to be opportunities opening up there. Kevon Looney when Cousins sits as well. But it's going to be so up and down, and we don't know the schedule of when these guys are resting. Are they going to sit 4 of these guys on one day? Are they going to stagger it throughout the week? I would guess there's going to be a stagger for the resting of these Warriors players, but you're going to have some of them play 5. Looney, Bell, they'll play the 5 games. Alfonso McKinney will probably play 5 games for this team, but you're not going to have the majority of these players play 5 games in 7 nights. Yes, they're in a battle with the Nuggets for that number 1 seed, 1 game up on the Nuggets in the Western Conference, but I think the Warriors would prioritize making sure these guys don't wear down. Well, there's already some signs of issues. Thompson missed time last week with a knee issue. Durant missed all of this week with an ankle injury. Steph's not quite himself at the moment. Cousins is coming back from an Achilles. Draymond's had shoulder and lower body issues all season. So Livingston and Iguodala are about 100 years of age combined. So there's all issues with these guys, and they're going to be taking it easy on there. But we knew this at the time when the Warriors came out with a 5-game week, that we didn't get overly excited because it wasn't going to mean 5 games for the majority of these players. But 4 games from Steph, 4 games from KD, 4 games from Clay is what you expect on a normal week. So that's pretty normal there, but it's not this huge boon to your playoff squad. On the flip side, the Orlando Magic have the worst schedule. Both they and the Brooklyn Nets play only 2 games this week. So guys that you were holding on to at the back end for the Magic, Evan Fournier, gone. DJ Augustin, who was an interesting ad last week, gone. John Isaac, probably gone. You look at guys like Vooch and Aaron Gordon, they're players that you could use, especially Vucevic in a 12-team league. He will have a weekly value lock for those 2 games. Gordon, even that might be pushing it with only the 2 games on for this Orlando Magic team. They play the Pelicans, which is a huge boon for guys like Vucevic, who can get really big numbers as centers, and then they play the Grizzlies, which takes a lot of their value away. But those fringy guys, your Isaacs, your Augustins, Fourniers, they are eminently cuttable for this week. To get you cut those guys and you add a 4-game team when the majority of teams this week do play 4 games, you're going to get significantly more value out of adding someone, say, like Marcus Smart, who still is ridiculously under-rostered. Adding someone like even a Wes Matthews maybe in Indiana to get his 4 games versus Fournier's 2 games or Isaac's 2 games. It's pretty much a no-brainer decision. The burner, Jalen Brunson, a clear ad over those fringe Orlando guys. And it's similar stuff in Brooklyn as well. We'll talk about that. Like guys like Karis LeVert, cooked. Like, don't worry about it. Alan Crabb, no, you're not holding on to him. Spencer Dinwiddie, is he a hold? If you need to win this week and you can stream out Dinwiddie, for as good as he's been, I'm not certain that he is 100% a must hold here. I think that he is a guy that you could consider moving on from. D'Angelo Russell, Jarrett Allen. Jarrett Allen's a drop, I think, for this week for the Nets. If you really need to get these game numbers up. D'Angelo's probably the guy you hold on to. Smoking Joe Harris, clearly gone. But there's a lot of value lost in those 2-game weeks, especially when the majority or over half the league is playing at least 4 games and one team playing 5 games. The rest of this week, now we can stream nearly every day this week, the way the game's split up. We've got 9 on Monday, 6 Tuesday, 9 Wednesday, 6 Thursday, 7 Friday, 8 Saturday, 8 Sunday. My streaming day cutoff is usually 8 games. So Monday and Wednesday, you may not have stream value, but in a lot of cases, 50% of cases, if it's a 9-game slate, you will still have an active roster spot available. So there's the potential that you can stream every single day, with the two possible maybe exceptions being the Monday and the Wednesday. You got to maximize your waiver wire moves again. So like we talked about last week, is if you've got 4 ads for the week, really attacking the back-to-backs. And unlike last week where we had one of the combination of days where there was no back-to-back, that's not the case this week. There are back-to-backs all throughout the week. So picking and choosing where to use those waiver ads to attack the categories you need to solidify your win or to snatch a win off your opponent in the categories league is really, really important. And getting those 8 games played out of 4 waiver ads is really important, rather than using those 4 ads for 4 games. So you can really make a massive difference just by being smart with adding your players and adding the right players at the right time. That is really, really important to do. As I said, the Warriors Stars, they're not likely to play their 5 games, and you're going to have to make hard decisions. In a lot of leagues, Yahoo default, you're in semi-final week, so next week is the finals. So we're talking about if you don't win, then what's the point of holding onto these guys for next week if you're not there? Now, if you can use weekly analysis tools to have a look at where you sit and things look pretty strong, and you could hold on to a D'Angelo Russell, you could hold on to Aaron Gordon and absorb their 2 games because you've got a massive games played advantage. And remember, when looking at your opponents and you see you've got a 2 games played advantage, you go, that's pretty good. But if your opponent streams in, they can get a bonus 8 games by attacking the back-to-backs on the 4 waiver ads. So that's important to note as well, that you've got to take advantage of that and see how many you can max out without actually dropping those guys, which is a possibility. But it is important that you pay attention to that and really do some work in setting your preview up or setting your team up for the week with some forward planning, because that is how you will win. Let's have a look at some guys that we can look to stream for the week for specific categories who may be available on the wire. I'm looking at guys who are rostered in 60% or fewer of leagues. If we're looking at the points category, the Padawan Colin Sexton has been putting up, I think, 5 consecutive 20-point games scoring-wise, so that's really good value there. His efficiency's actually been pretty solid as well. He's been much improved, and his teammate Chetty Osman, another option that you could look at on the waiver wire to provide you points for this coming week. 4 games the Cavs have, so that's really interesting to use them. And of course, Jalen Brunson, who we mentioned earlier, is probably a must roster right across the board. Marcus Morris, another option I think for points you're looking at. The Celtics have 4 games. He could be an option just for that points streaming type situation. If you're looking to stream in some threes, a couple of Jazz guys really stand out to me. Jay Crowder, with his 4 games, he could easily have 11 or 12 threes across that area. You've got the Duke, Wayne Ellington as an option, and Kyle Korver. They've both got 4 games for this week, so an 11 or 12 threes from those guys wouldn't seem completely out of place. So there are some interesting 3-point stream options for this coming week. When we're looking at rebounds, Noah Vonleh, assuming he's healthy, he's had an ankle issue, which has caused him to miss Sunday's game, so he could have some value if he is ready to go with that ankle. Bam Bam Adebayo and Jakob Poeltl, 2 pretty strong options who are close to must roster regardless, but they can provide some nice rebounding value. I didn't mention Dwight Powell because he obviously needs to be on every single roster available. And the other one, if you want to look at another player, Vonleh is not there, is Mason Plumlee with the Nuggets. Having 4 games, he's getting low 20s in minutes, which is really helping his ability to be an impact guy for fantasy for this coming week. If you're looking to stream in assists, I think the number one guy we're looking at there is Jalen Brunson, who's putting up some really, really strong games. This is not me talking about someone like Derek White, who is still available in way too many leagues. Even Tomas Satoransky, who is available in under 60% of leagues. These are guys that you know are must roster players. So you look at Brunson as a guy there. Marcus Smart rostered in under 50% of leagues, which is nonsense, must roster guy. And Monty Morris, another player there. You could also look at Alex Caruso for the Lakers, who is outplaying Rajon Rondo pretty comfortably at the moment, and he can be an assists stream option. For the Steals, it's the same names that appear here as it did last week. Marcus Smart, again, must roster player. PJ Tucker, another guy who can be a real option there for the Steals. McCall Bridges is another really good Steals streamer. Damo Dotson, another player who's been putting up some pretty strong numbers, and the minutes for him look relatively solid. If we're looking to stream in blocks, a name that I've already mentioned is Jakob Poeltl. He comes in pretty good. Maxi Kleber is available in tons of leagues. The Mavericks have 4 games. His minutes have been up around 30 for the last 3 games, so there's value there. You could look at Jordy Bell if we assume he's going to get some extra run on days when Draymond and DeMarcus Cousins sit. So Jordy Bell can come in and give you some blocks. Robin Lopez, another option there, who's a blocks type of streamer player, who probably is a must roster guy. And then, your standard one is Nerlens Noel, who does come in and can be really good at getting those numbers in big chunks. If we're looking to stream in some field goal percentage options, Mason Plumlee, Jakob Poeltl, 2 names that I've already mentioned could have some real value there. And the other guy we look at is Robin Lopez. And again, names that we have mentioned. Ken Fareed could be another guy that we'd look at in that category. Kevon Looney, Boban Marjanovic, another guy who could come in and create at least some sort of influence on your field goal percentage category. For free throws, we're looking at Jeff Green as a waiver wire option who can come in and have an impact there. Marco Bellinelli, another really good free throw shooter. And Rocket Rodney Hood, especially with CJ McCollum's injury. Hood can come in and provide an option there. He's really inconsistent in other areas, but you think he's going to at least be able to have some sort of an impact on the free throw percentage. You could look at Avery Bradley, who's a must roster guy regardless. Kyle Korver, Jeremy Lin. These are guys who do get to the line and shoot a high percentage, and that could be enough just to influence that category. And another deeper type of guy you look at there is Alonso Tria of the New York Knicks. All right, so that'll wrap it up for looking at a Week 23 preview. Good luck to you guys in your leagues, in your playoffs, in your roto leagues, and be smart, make the plans, and I think you'll go well.